Hello, everyone. I'm so excited. We've been talking all about tech neck. We've been talking all things pain and skin, and I'm so ready to share everything with you guys. Before we dive right into the content and everything tech neck, I want to give you a quick run if you've never been to one of our live events before from YouTube. It's got an interactive component, which is really nice. And you can ask questions to Dr. Thomas and myself all about skincare, all about tech neck when it comes to posture and skin. In the chat over on the side, you can ask your questions, you can type them in, and we also have a Consonant regimen coach standing by to answer any of your questions. If you have product questions or anything that is shoppable or skincare. So feel free to pop your questions over there. But I guess let's just start out with why this event came to be. So first and foremost, Consonant Skincare is a Canadian skincare company, and I'm getting some feedback. There we go. Consonant Skincare is a Canadian skincare company, and we specialize in 100% natural, clinically proven products. But we also know that great skin comes from more than just the products that you apply. We know that how you move your body, the foods you're eating, how you're dealing with your mental health, your daily posture, all of those things affect the look and function of skin. And that's why we love partnering with experts in their field. And we have Dr. Thomas with us today. We'll give you a full introduction.
Sounds good.
But we love partnering with people that know so much about their field and can give us some insights into how we might deliver on these dimensions of wellness. So tonight is all about tech neck from a spine and a skin perspective. So I'm Erika. I'm the Science and Wellness Manager at Consonant Skincare. And joining me tonight, we have Dr. Josh Thomas, who is a kinesiologist and chiropractor. Thank you so much.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
And in your practice, you see, a lot of different things, but you see a lot of people coming in with symptoms and different sort of pains and strains caused from tech neck or potentially poor posture. So I'm excited to dive into everything about that. But from a spinal perspective, what actually is tech neck?
Sure. So when I talk to my patients about tech neck, generally it's postural strains and pains induced from their poor ergonomics. So looking down at your phone all day, looking down at your computer, or just compromising things that create undue or like unneeded stress on the muscles and joints. Because when you're looking forward and you're looking down, or your spine's moving forward, and actually I did bring mine today so you can see the effects of what's going on here.
So what is this? This is your spinal column.
Yeah, so basically if I turn sideways, you can actually see this would kind of be what you're looking at here.
Okay, so this is your skull, like this is your
head. Exactly. So that's the skull, that's the neck. And we have muscles that go from the back and support the spine going into the base of the skull, as well as what we call the cervical vertebra, the bones that basically make up our neck. And so when we're in poor postures and the neck goes forward, this creates stress on the muscles. They're not optimized to be put into these postures.
Because our head weighs a lot. So it's kind of a lot of pressure to be having it forward, right?
For sure. And, there are optimal ways for these muscles to align to support the head. And I like to create the analogy of holding a bicep curl. You don't go to the gym and hold a bicep curl for 8 hours straight. Yeah, that's what we're doing to our neck.
We're expecting out of our neck muscles.
Yeah, it's a lot of stress to be put on those muscles. Like, just imagine how sore you'd be if you went and squatted in the same spot for 8 hours. You don't expect that out of your glutes. Why would you expect that out of your neck? So we do see those pains and strains as a result of these poor postures.
Okay, totally makes sense. And then from a skincare perspective, we call tech neck that poor posture, often from looking down at our phones, or maybe our computer screens are kind of not properly set up, and we're creating those wrinkles in our neck, and it takes dynamic wrinkles, so wrinkles that occur through movement, and turns them into static wrinkles because it's in a chronically sort of creased state, and it can create visible signs of aging. And at Consonant, we're not about anti-aging, but we are about healthy aging. So if we can keep our skin hydrated and elastic and functioning its best while also maintaining good posture and good health, that's what we're about. So if you have questions about skincare tips and tricks, pop them into the chat, but we are also going to take you through a full tech neck regimen. And I think one of the questions I get asked all the time is, how do we actually stop ourselves from being in these postures? Like, is there a way? Because tech is inevitable. We're
Yeah.
going to be on our phones, we're going to be on our computers. I mean, as a chiropractor, do you have some tips and tricks about how we can take ourselves out of those positions and maybe optimize our ergonomics, our setups of our screens, perhaps?
Sure. I mean, obviously, it's not realistic for me just to tell my patients, like, throw that tech out the window and just don't use it. At the end of the day, we have to use our tech to get our jobs done. Now, if you're able to find alternatives that take you out of these compromising positions, that's the first thing I'd start with. So instead of looking at your phone all day, on Facebook, for example, if you have to do Facebook marketing, find the application on your computer or from their website and use it from there. Because you can align your monitor up to eye level, whereas you can't necessarily hold your phone out like this all day.
That's actually a really good point. So where do we want our computer screens, like in our setup? Like, how do we want our screens to be in front of us?
So the ideal position for a computer monitor is actually right, having the top of it at eye level, because
Like the top of it?
yeah, the very top, exactly.
Oh, see, I always put my screen like so that the middle of the screen is at my eyes. So you want to actually lower.
Yeah, because naturally our eyes actually rest about 20 degrees just below the horizontal. So by having the top of the monitor at eye level, the center can be focused where our vision naturally lies.
Oh, okay. So dropping our computer screens or like raising them up, but having them at eye level. Okay.
Exactly. I also tell my patients to use a font size that is a little bit larger, because if the font's a bit smaller, then I find them squinting, moving their neck forward, and again putting extra load on those muscles and joints.
And we see a lot of premature signs of aging from the squinting in our turning our dynamic wrinkles into static wrinkles through creasing of like our crow's feet and our eye area as well. So that's a huge tip for skin and spines right there.
Yeah, might as well tackle both those things.
And so when it comes to perhaps sort of jigging our workspace, you were mentioning there may be applications that you can bring your phone screen onto your laptop so that you can actually have what's happening on your text, maybe it's your emails from your phone onto your laptop screen.
Well, I know, for example, if you have an iPhone, that you can integrate that into your MacBook and you can get your text and your messages through your computer. There's also ways to run your applications directly on Mac OS that are natively on iOS. Android has the same features. You can actually run your Android apps on Windows. There's a lot of ways to make these things work. You're not stuck on your phone, because at the end of the day, you can adjust a monitor. It's a lot harder to work with a phone that's down here. There are ways to also mirror your screen onto your computer, and that's another solution. So, there are technological workarounds and there are ergonomic workarounds. So another thing I like to recommend is the stuff that you use most often, keep it closer. You don't want to be reaching all day for a phone.
For all your skincare.
For all your skincare.
Your facial mists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I'm missing my face throughout the day, I don't keep it at the edge of my desk because I don't want to be reaching across all day, putting myself in compromising postures.
Your sunscreen you need to reapply. Yeah. Keep it right
yes,
beside
exactly.
you.
Gotta get the sunscreen going.
Okay, so I know this is something that our clients ask us from a like tech perspective when we're talking about wrinkles and the way that we're positioning our body. But is there like a best chair to buy? Is there a best, like people talk about pillows for supporting the neck? Like what is the best thing you recommend?
Yeah, that's a good question. And there's a lot to unpack there because you're constantly being sold stuff. So it's like, buy this chair, buy this pillow. When we talk about chairs, my recommendation is don't worry too much about how much money you're spending on a chair. Obviously, it's nice to have those ergonomic features like
good lumbar support.
Exactly. Low back support, armrests, adjustable seat pans, the part where you're sitting on. But at the end of the day, there is research that says that when people have low back pain, it's not the seat that's making the difference. So if someone comes in with low back pain, giving them the best, most expensive seat isn't just going to cure their low back pain. What makes the difference is how much they're moving. So the famous quote is the best posture is the next one. So throughout the day, switching postures, getting up, moving, making excuses to get up out of your chair throughout the day.
Yeah. And that's good for everything, right? Everything is connected to your skin, your spine. Health is just like this whole unit. It's good for your mental health to get up and walk around. It's good for keep you moving, keep your skin going. Yeah. We love it all. So switching gears to tech neck again, back to a sort of skin perspective, we get asked a lot about how can we reverse some of the signs and symptoms of tech neck. So we've talked about how to prevent tech neck altogether by positioning yourself throughout the day so that you're not actually creating that sort of forward head carriage.
And standing desks are good
and
too.
Standing desks.
There's lots of alternatives.
Yeah, but sometimes we want to be treating some of the symptoms associated with it because we know sometimes tech neck is inevitable if we just are on our phones for work or whether that's, part of our job or just to get your mind off what's going on social media. Um, so there are ways to combat visible signs of aging in this area. And the first one we see is through hydration. So
Mm.
making sure that your skincare regimen includes a good cleanse, treat, protect regimen that is keeping your skin hydrated. So some of the things that I recommend, obviously from Consonant Skincare, we love our natural foaming face wash because this is a fantastic way to cleanse the skin, remove any sort of pollution from the day that may be exacerbating those visible signs of aging, but it's not going to strip your skin of its natural moistures and creating dehydration that then leads to those fine lines increasing. And then the next thing is using a product, a treatment product, in that sort of treat step of your regimen to make sure that you're amplifying hydration. So the Consonant Hydro Extreme, fantastic for this. It binds to 1,000 times its weight in water, and it's clinically proven to outperform hyaluronic acid. I mean, this texture is magic. And then finally sealing it in with a good moisturizer. Ultra moisturizing face cream is a great option. Anything to keep that hydration up. And we even have some like little tips and tricks up our sleeve. One of which I'll show now, which is our reusable silicone neck mask, which is part of our reusable neck mask line. And it's very simple. You apply your products, and we always recommend applying our products all the way down to our neck when we're doing our skincare regimen. And then it turns any product into an immediate neck mask. And you'll love this because I think part of tech neck from a spine perspective is understanding when you're in poor position. So you just apply this. Hopefully it sticks. I'm not wearing any serums or anything, but applying this over any of your products, creating that immediate mask. And then it also tells you when you're in sort of the incorrect posture. Because if you're wearing this, you're going to be like perfectly sitting upright, like enjoying your neck mask. It's not sticking because I don't have my moisturizers on.
Yeah, we do have mechanoreceptors in our skin actually that give us feedback.
Really?
Yeah, well, it just seeing this kind of reminded me of a study on ankles that researchers were doing, and people who taped their ankles after an ankle sprain healed, a week or two faster because the tape was able to activate mechanoreceptors, or basically receptors that can sense the sensation of the tape within our skin, and that allowed them to move their ankle correctly in space and allow for faster healing because they didn't re-aggravate the condition. So we have those receptors throughout all of our skin.
Okay, so by wearing something like a neck mask, we can be like helping treat this sort of topical skincare side, but then the actual sensation of like being in the correct position can maybe like retrain our brains.
Yeah,
to be in correct posture.
Anything to enhance that proprioceptive feedback is a-okay in my mind.
I love that. Okay, so we're like amplifying our regimen through wellness practices and also just through that awareness of how our body is in space. That's perfect.
Awesome.
Okay, so we've talked about skin. We've talked about a little bit of the regimen component of how we can actually combat the symptoms of tech neck. But talk to me about what tech neck symptoms we can alleviate maybe at home. So pretend someone at home is experiencing symptoms they think might be tech neck. So maybe it's like pain through the neck or maybe headaches. I know when we were talking earlier, some headaches can be caused by tech neck.
Sure, yeah.
How can people differentiate if they're experiencing something as a result of tech neck? And maybe what are some things they can do at home to help alleviate that pain?
Yeah, so if a patient comes in presenting with those kind of symptoms and we've diagnosed them with headaches or neck pain based on their postures and sore muscles, there's several things that we look for. For example, you want to differentiate between what headache you're having, because there's headaches from caffeine, for example. If you haven't had your caffeine fix in the morning and you're used to getting that, that might start in the morning. Whereas something related to your posture might come on later in the day, because that's after you put yourself under those stressful
conditions
and postures. Exactly. And then there's tension headaches, which actually are like a band around the head. The tech neck, more cervicogenic, again, cervical meaning from the spine in the neck. They feel a bit more like they're radiating from the back. They You can feel them a bit behind the eye. And often if you push on the muscles and joints, they create that headache sensation. So if someone's presenting with those type of headaches, I'll show them some stretches and things they can do. My favorite is the chin tuck, actually.
Oh yeah, you told me this one.
Exactly. It might not be like the perfect exercise for neck wrinkles, but it's really great to strengthen the deep muscles in the neck.
It's acute, so we're not going to be creating too much neck wrinkle action. But yeah, you taught me this. Okay, show us. So show everyone at home. We want you to do it with us.
I basically position my hand on my chest. And
on your chin?
Well, my hand on the chest, finger on the chin.
Okay.
And then I pull back.
Give yourself a nice double chin.
Make that nice double chin. There you go. You got it. And you can do 8 to 10 of those and just hold for a few seconds.
Hold it back. So hold your head away from your finger.
Exactly. What that does is it strengthens those deep muscles, because we often overuse these large muscle groups and they get tight. They give us neck pain, headaches, when we should be using these muscles deep in our neck, which can alleviate some of that stress.
So we're like taking some of that weight off of our larger muscle groups and using these smaller ones.
Yeah, and by using these muscles, we're also moving our neck in the correct way. For example, when you use the deep muscles in your neck, you're going like this. When you use the big muscles in your neck, you're bending much larger. And there's a very big difference.
Yeah.
And doing that countless times through the day, it adds up and creates more stress.
And something I've heard from some of our like facial yoga experts, and I think I've heard you speak of this before, is creating those those large motions of doing this. You can actually start to create some shortening of these muscles, and it can actually contribute to things like double chin later in life. So just strengthening these muscles maybe and stretching them out can keep these muscles elongated and maybe keep us from constantly creating these creases, and just keep the sort of neck area looking and functioning its best. So
for sure. Yeah, no, I'm a huge advocate for a daily mobility routine, stretching those muscles that get tight and strengthening those ones that are weak.
Mm-hmm. If you have questions at all about either skincare or maybe some simple exercises to pop into your daily regimen, toss it into the comments and we'll answer it live for you. And so when it comes to, so we have some sort of strengthening exercises. Do you have any maybe stretches or anything that people can do for the muscle side of things?
Oh yeah, I got lots of stretches here. One of the ones that I often recommend, and again, the forward postures creates tension back here. So when I'm sitting at my desk for long hours, often I will do a stretch of what we call the lev scap. And that's a muscle that supports the head. So I take it and I pull it to the armpit, and I will hold this stretch either 30 seconds for a muscle stretch or 5 seconds for pain relief.
I can totally feel it in here.
Exactly. You're gonna feel it, through the side, through the back.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, hold it and you can do both sides.
I'm like messing my hair, but it's worth it.
Exactly.
And so you can just sort of do this at your desk throughout the day, or
when as needed. Stretches you can do as needed. And then the one I like to give for headaches is basically you take your thumb and you put it at the base of the skull. And so if we look at the spine here, the muscles actually go from the base of the skull into the top of the spine. And so I place my thumb right in here.
Yeah.
So you take the thumb, you place it in, grab the head, tuck the chin in.
Oh yeah.
And go to the opposite side. And again, like I said, you can hold that for 5 seconds and then just work your thumb across the base of the skull.
And that hurts. Like it's like tender in there.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of tension. Now, with stretches, though, I do caution my patients, a stretch shouldn't necessarily be painful. You might, if you do have headaches there might be some tenderness, but you don't necessarily want to stretch into pain. It should be relieving when all things are said and done.
Okay, yeah, no, it definitely doesn't stay painful when I do this, but I feel like I do have some postural things I need to be working on myself. Yes, but definitely that strengthening stuff. I mean, this is stuff you can do between Zoom calls or like while you're having your lunch, you take a little walk, maybe do some stretches. I feel like that's a really great way to sort of break up your day after your skincare regimen at night, just elevate it a little bit. And then you also had some exercises, I think, related to like proprioception as well.
Oh, you know what? That's a great point. I always like to recommend wall angels as well when it comes to posture. And that's a simple exercise, again, you can do throughout the day. So you basically go against a wall.
Yeah,
and yeah, there's not a lot here. I might elbow you in the face, but I'll try and be careful. Basically, you stand against a wall and this aligns your spine. And then from here, all you're going to do is go up and down in a steady motion here. And this opens up the chest. It pulls the back together. And it shows you what an aligned posture feels like as you're moving your arms. And again, that is showing you how you can move throughout your day while maintaining a correct posture, as well as, opening things up, creating that mobility and aligning you It's just a great exercise I like to incorporate into my routine.
And I think it's so important just to recognize how connected everything is. I mean, if you're sitting all day and you're experiencing pain, this can feed into your stress cycle, your quality of life. And when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling poor about your body and everything is connected, you end up experiencing it on your skin. I mean, everything from stress. I know you were saying when you're stressed out, you're touching your face
man,
more.
I'm so guilty of just touching my face when I'm stressed, like studying and stuff.
Yeah,
I do
the
it all the time.
behavioral element. I mean, you don't have to tell us, like Consonant, we know everything is connected to your skin.
For
So
sure.
I love that we have some things we can incorporate, you know, whether you're doing a neck mask and then stretching your neck out. I think those are great ways that you can sort of amplify the benefits of your skincare.
Yeah, self-care routines like great, especially nowadays with all the the stress.
Oh yeah, 100%. Amazing. Okay, so let's also dive into some additional skincare ingredients that are fantastic for the neck area specifically to help combat tech neck, because we might be trying to maybe get rid of some existing fine lines and wrinkles we have there if we have been in a compromised posture, kind of maybe for a few years now. So two products in particular are our vitamin C plus licorice serum, because it's an antioxidant, and there's some clinical studies showing that the vitamin C derivatives in here can help boost collagen production, so we can maybe help to tighten and tone some of that area from sagging. Pairing it with your amazing stretches and exercises can help also correct some of that posture, so we're preventing them from getting worse. And then our vitamin E plus oat, it's really deeply moisturizing, great for people with dry skin, mature skin, and if you've experienced any sun damage. And you can find all of this at consonant.com. And you can also amplify the benefits with your reusable silicone neck mask, which again, we were talking about is so good for proprioceptive awareness, and it turns any product, serum or moisturizer into an instant mask. And these reusable medical grade silicone patches also can be used over 52 times. So that's like doing a neck mask every week for a year, just with one of these guys. So if there's no more questions for Dr. Thomas or for myself, I think it's just been a great experience talking to you about everything related to spinal health and pain and management. I think when you pair regimens of skincare with sort of practical life things that are going to get you out of that pain cycle, I think it can really actually make a difference in sort of your daily life. And I know tech neck is one of those things that we all tend to experience. Okay, we have been giving you so much information, but again, when it comes to tech neck from a skin and spine perspective, it is all about posture. It's all about the place that you're in every day. So you were saying with your ergonomics of your desk, with your phones, making sure that monitor is at eye level, making sure you're maybe bringing your applications onto your desktop monitor, and
font size
so that you're not squinting or moving towards your screen to see better.
Or even see your optometrist if you need a prescription to better see your computer.
Yeah, exactly. So all these tips and tricks can be great for preventing tech neck in your spine, that pain, as well as preventing that kind of creasing in your neck skin. And then when it comes to pain management and prevention, using those stretches, using those exercises to adapt to the way that you're moving and to alleviate some of that pain. When it comes to skincare, we have you covered. If you ever have questions, you can check us out on Instagram at Consonant Life. You can find everything online at consonant.com. Dr. Thomas, if people want to learn more about chiropractic care, pain management, tech neck, where can they find you? Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, Dr. Josh Thomas, as well as my website, thomasbackandbody.com. And for some more fun health videos, I'm also on TikTok at, again, Dr. Josh Thomas. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us, for sharing your expertise. And thanks for having me. Hopefully people at home, you can use these exercises, you can amplify your regimen just so that we can get rid of tech neck once and for all in your spine and in your skin. But thank you again all for tuning in, and we'll leave this live up for you so you can revisit it on our YouTube channel. But it was a pleasure, as always. Thank you to the Consonant community. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.